Welcome everyone, let's rock and roll that rabbit hole.
Hey babe. What would one call a deaf gynecologist?
A deaf gynecologist?
Yes, a non-hearing gynecologist.
Michael, is this a dirty joke?
I would never tell a dirty joke.
Okay, Michael, what do you call a deaf gynecologist?
A lip reader.
No. No. Stop. No.
She's a good sport. Don't take life so seriously. You'll never get out of it alive.
You are 100% sure that Richard Hoffman, your grandpa, was the Zodiac Killer.
I'm not 99.9 no more, 100%.
Zodiac, a symbol that now stands for terror.
One of America's most notorious serial killers.
The Zodiac Killer.
Zodiac Killer.
Leaving clues, sending letters directly to the police and news stations. And for nearly 50 years, no one has come close to figuring out who the Zodiac Killer was. Every few years, some new evidence or suspects would appear, but there was never enough evidence to prove. But this time seems different. A man named Jay Foy posted a series of TikToks.
My grandpa is the mother Zodiac Killer. I want to start off by saying this is not just based off physical appearance. I typed in my grandpa's name on Google the other day. Internet sleuths have been throwing my grandpa's name around for years. As you can see here in all these pictures on the screen somewhere, that it looks exactly like my grandpa. Let's talk about it. My grandpa was a Vallejo police officer. Yes, the same area where the Zodiac Killers. Let's move forward. Let's talk about the Darlene Sharon murder. Let me tell you, this is not in any order, but the more evidence I give you, you are going to be convinced that my grandpa is in fact the Zodiac Killer. Darlene Farron and her boyfriend Mike or Matt were driving around Vallejo one night, the night that my grandfather happened to be on duty, driving an unmarked police car and wearing plain clothes. Mike, who ended up surviving the shooting, said that they were being followed around by this car all night in Vallejo before they pulled into Blue Rock Springs. They said when they parked, the car pulled in, a man hopped out of the car, and Darlene, the girl who passed away, said, "Oh my God, that's Richard. He's gonna kill us both." Apparently, she was dating a police officer in Vallejo behind her husband's back. She was apparently a thotty. Rest in peace, Darlene Farron. So this guy in her passenger seat is one of her many boyfriends. And it was well known by her friend group that she was dating a Vallejo cop, although she never told them the name. She had a painting party at her house a few weeks before her murder, and it was said that my grandfather, Richard Hoffman, showed up uninvited, and she told her circle of friends that she is scared to death of him, and he was not invited there. My grandpa denies these claims. He says he never laid eyes on her, but then later goes on to say, "I know that she worked at a restaurant locally here in Vallejo." Let's move forward. As Mike said, right before they got shot, she said, "That's Richard. He's going to kill us both." My grandpa's name is fucking Richard Hoffman. Now let's talk about something else that I thought was really weird. In a letter that the Zodiac wrote, and my grandpa's police reports, and also this poem that I'm going to talk about later, my grandpa spells the word until wrong. He spells it wrong. He puts 2 L's at the end. Where in multiple letters of the Zodiac wrote, he also spells until with 2 L's. Well, let's talk about the Sherry Bates murder that took place a couple years before the Darlene Farron murder. She was in a library doing her homework. She had just moved from Nebraska. Why do I mention that? Because my grandpa lived in Nebraska. My mother, biological mother, was born in Nebraska. My grandpa was also in the Navy. Sherry Bates, his brother, was also in the Navy. This is weird, right? It's all coming together. Well, this murder took place. She was at the library studying one night. She leaves and gets shot up. Where they found a poem handwritten underneath a motherfucking desk. And forensic analysis and handwriting analysis say that it's an exact writings of the Zodiac. And they say that this is possibly the first killing that the Zodiac ever did. Well, this letter was initialed RH at the very bottom. RH, Richard Hoffman. Forensic analysis experts said that letter was written by the Zodiac. So why is no one connecting this? Somebody tell me why. It is said that my grandpa and Darlene, the one who got shot at Blue Rock Springs, had a romantic sexual relationship behind everybody's back, behind my grandma's back. Let's talk about his character. My grandpa's character, he was known in my family to be abusive, controlling, manipulating, and also unfaithful to my grandmother. Now we're going to sit here and pretend that my grandpa didn't do this shit. They also say that the crime scene was tampered with. Why did Darlene's family get a call that she was shot before the cops even knew about it? And that call was placed by a payphone outside of Vallejo Police Department. Someone tell me that. And my grandpa was first on scene to that shooting. And later it was revealed that scene was tampered with. My grandpa showed up on scene within 5 minutes of the shooting being reported. He sent away the officers that responded with him. Who sends away responding officers on a possible double murder? And the crime scene was tampered with. It was later revealed. So you're still going to tell me my grandpa is not the Zodiac Killer. What are we going to do about it? I don't fucking know. My grandpa's on vacation in a grave somewhere. But I'm convinced. My grandpa is a Zodiac Killer. I am struggling so much with keeping my sanity and moving through this journey, this unexpected journey, with so much more coming out in terms of personal relationships with family members. I've been working for a long time to try to like mend relationships with certain people in my life. And when I feel like I'm doing something good and they're all turning away from me, it's so fucking hurtful, dude. This whole process fucking sucks so bad. Broke my sobriety. Like, I'm still trying to be a role model for my son, bro. I don't know if like I could keep pushing forward with this project because it's really fucking affecting me. Like, it's really affecting me and it hurts a lot, bro. I hope that you guys could like just please like stick it out with me and understand that I am going through so much more than just having a viral video. I love you guys. I hope you stay tuned. This shit is rough.
Now that's a very compelling story. This Jay Foy fellow seems to have gathered a lot of information on this. Do you think he's right? Or is this just a grift to get views?
Oh, guys.
Hey.
We're not moving. I'm not fucking. I'm not fucking. Holy shit. Okay?
Oh wow, that was a close call. Luckily nobody was hurt. I think I would have yelled out for...
I'm suddenly realizing that I'm extremely out of touch with what normal people think is weird. I'm so far down the rabbit hole that I don't know if I can get out. And like, other people haven't even found the rabbit hole. That blows my mind more than anything I've found in the rabbit hole. I started my TikTok to try and nudge some people awake. That's why my approach is what it is, right? I'm asking questions, not telling you what to think or what to believe. But I'm realizing that like the only people who are finding my content and who are understanding what I'm talking about are people who already know what I'm talking about, which is cool. Like, I'm finding my people and I'm finding comrades in the battle, you know, but I'm acutely aware all of a sudden of the fact that I know it's a battle and like 90% of humanity has no idea. And I can't relate to that 90% literally at all anymore. I don't remember how. Like, I saw a post and it was like, what's one conspiracy theory that you 1000% believe or whatever? And it was like the most, like one woman was like, they don't plant male trees in cities because the female trees produce fruit and they don't want people to have free food. And I'm like, dude, that's how far down the rabbit hole you are? I'm so far down the rabbit hole that I think we are the food. We can't relate. Like, I know I'm not alone in this, but y'all, help me out. What do we do? Because, like, I can't awaken people. I can't nudge them gently if I don't know what gently is anymore. I can't remember how I got here. You know what I'm saying? Anybody else struggling to remember how you arrived at this place of knowing what you know and not being able to relate to people who don't know what you know? I'm finding it very, like, unsettling all of a sudden.
So this is a common thread running through a lot of truth seekers' lives. They discover something phenomenal, profound truth that changes their lives. They want to share it with everybody. Unfortunately, it's not received the same way. The path of truth seeking can lead to isolation. It's a journey of self-growth, and it's personal to you. Like she said, you can find fellow like-minded people out there. Just don't expect them to be family members.
And the quarry contains a number of very large blocks that were never transported from the quarry site. Now, what archaeologists say, and it still amuses me, of course the Romans did everything. They found they could move 900-ton blocks, but 1,000 tons was too much for them. So they couldn't move them. So they just left them in the quarry. In my view, that's a very un-Roman thing to do.
Is this really how the Romans did it at Cavdi Cusa? They just grabbed a few pickaxes, hammered out rough channels, and somehow managed to free multi-ton blocks of limestone with wedges and careful tapping? Did they walk around the quarry, kilometers wide and long, with their rulers, chisels, and maybe a damp cloth to check the wind direction, before magically slicing out perfect cylindrical column blanks dozens of meters long? Are we supposed to believe that armies of men with simple iron tools managed to achieve uniform, precision-cut stone on an industrial scale, ready to be turned into the massive temple columns of Selanuntay? Because when you actually look at the site, the evidence doesn't point to pickaxes and hammer blows, it points to something else entirely. To large-scale rotary core drills, machines capable of biting deep into bedrock, leaving behind smooth spiral cut marks like a giant mechanical corkscrew had been at work, not thousands of sweaty laborers with hand tools. And yet people insist they know how the Romans did it, with primitive technology, slow and steady, just good old-fashioned manpower. But look closer. The way these columns were extracted, the precision of the cylindrical cuts, the massive uniformity across miles of quarry, hints at engineering techniques that rival or even surpass what we can do today. Just like the unfinished obelisk at Aswan, just like the polished stone walls of the Osirian, the Cave de Kusa bears the scars not of hammer and chisel, but of some high RPM, high torque stone cutting machinery. Machines that could spin, grind, and core through solid rock at speeds and with feed rates that would make even our modern quarrymen blink. The ancient world wasn't just advanced. It was operating on a technological level that history books refuse to acknowledge.
I see this as a big problem for their history records. I believe it comes down to a physics problem. If 4 of the biggest cranes in the world could barely lift some of these giant stones, how on earth did they do it back then? By hand.
Do you have an issue here, guys?
He won't show me his identification.
Is there a problem, sir?
No, sir, there's no problem. I promise you, everything's fine. I need you both to go away, please. No, you can't tell us to go away. I'm asking to see your ID. I know the law. Now I have to see my ID. Once I'm seated, the 2 places you can check it are TSA and when I'm providing my boarding pass. I'm already seated. Please leave.
Sir, I appreciate that you're staying calm, but we're going to need some compliance. We're going to have to elevate this and possibly take you off the plane. So go ahead and just show our ID. It's no big deal.
Nice that you know the law, but I think an officer of the law would know it better than you. When I ask for your ID, I expect to see it.
And I appreciate your sending me. You show the state some respect, and I will remove you from this plane if needed. So don't go around making declarations you can't back up. Just go ahead and show our ID. And move along. Get this plane off the ground.
We won't if you show us your ID.
And you're definitely not going to threaten me, sir. Why is it?
Have it?
You don't have it on your person?
I don't need to see it right now. Yes, I do. I'm trying to do my job.
The only place you need to check it was TSA and when I provided my boarding pass. Sir,
I'm already seated. Everything's fine.
You need to identify yourself when requested. This is an airport. We have a lot of international and domestic flights coming in and out of this. This is a very important hub, so if you can't comply with the nice lady's request, then I'm going to have to step in, and I don't really want to do that. She's doing a fine job. If you can't show her ID, so do you have her ID, or did you show it? So you showed it. So you showed it all those places you mentioned. Yes. So you have it, and you can just show it and end this right now.
I can't do that right now.
You can or you won't?
Why are you making this so difficult? We're just trying to do our jobs, and we can move on if you just show your ID.
Please just comply with the lady.
I can't do that. I need you guys to please just leave. We're trying to do our jobs, sir. Please show your identification.
If you don't, we're going to have to escalate this to something else. Do you have any weapons on your person? Where's your luggage, sir?
I don't have luggage.
You don't? Okay, so you're traveling by yourself and you won't show your ID and you're kind of standoffish. So you can understand why that would be suspicious and raising some red flags here.
I understand your point of view, but I really need you to just walk away.
I need
you to just show your ID, please, sir.
Yeah, she's been very sweet, but I understand she's getting frustrated, and honestly, you even requesting anything is kind of really, to be quite frank, pissing us off. We need you to comply. If you have a lack of
position to tell us what to do, sir, you need to show your identification.
I am the law, and she is an extension of the law. This is her plane, and her and the captain.
And this is the extension of the law.
Yeah, this
airplane? Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely, she has jurisdiction. Are you going to comply, or do we have to get the captain involved, or I can just remove you myself? I just need to see your ID. I know you've already showed it several places throughout this scenario. Sir, hold on.
Get the fuck out of my face right now and leave. So, in the middle of something, this is a 3-year case. If you don't leave right now, I'm going to just go. I'm going to sit right there and you're going to leave me the fuck alone. You got that? Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, you never know who may be sitting beside you on an airplane. You would think that law enforcement would have some kind of universal code that only they would understand. Chances are this video is probably fake. I can't imagine they'd release a video with an actual federal agent's face in the video, even if his case is over.
Wouldn't it be weird if we found out that there was actually another continent on this planet and that continent was used for the elite group of people, not the elites that we see, but the actual elite group of people that we all serve our entire lives, that we all do all of this work for, so that they can live in like this heaven on earth paradise type place, but none of us know about it because none of us are supposed to know about it, because then we'd know that we're all serving this one group of people on this continent that we don't know about. But what if there's actually a group of the actual elites that we still serve, and we always have? It's been like these families that just have always been in control of the entire planet, and we just come over here and tiff and have distractions, and there's people in place to keep us distracted, to keep the circus going, so that we're complacent enough, but not so complacent that we start elevating to a higher level of consciousness. Because if you look at like the psychological pyramid, they keep us in one of the lower levels so that we never actually start looking deeper into things. And if we do, then it seems like it's reset, wars start and problems happen, and then we have issues with the economy, and then we go back to the lowest level, which is survival. That's the lowest level. You can't focus on the higher levels if you're focused on survival. And that's known. That's the basic psychology.
So I think the concept of a hidden continent or hidden land is very feasible. When we get statistics like there's 4 times the amount of food that we need here, yet we have so many starving people, it makes you wonder, where's that food going? It's all just being wasted? It also brings up another interesting possibility, the 27 Club.
Brian Jones, Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, and Jim Morrison all died at the age of 27 between 1969 and 1971. At the time, the coincidence gave rise to some comment, but it was not until Kurt Cobain's 1994 death, at age 27, that the idea of a 27 Club began to catch on in public perception. Blues musician Robert Johnson, who died in 1938, is one of the earliest popular musicians to be included in lists of 27 Club members. According to Hendrix and Cobain's biographer Charles R. Cross, the growing importance of the media, internet, magazines, and television, and the response to an interview of Cobain's mother were jointly responsible for such theories. An excerpt from a statement that Cobain's mother, Wendy Fredenberg Cobain O'Connor, made in the Aberdeen, Washington newspaper The Daily World. Now he's gone and joined that stupid club. I told him not to join that stupid club. Referred to Hendrix, Joplin, and Morrison dying at the same age. According to Cross, the events have led a set of conspiracy theorists to suggest the absurd notion that Kurt Cobain intentionally timed his death so he could join the 27 Club. In 2011, 17 years after Cobain's death, Amy Winehouse died at the age of 27, prompting a renewed swell of media attention devoted to the club once again. 3 years earlier, she had expressed a fear of dying at that age. An individual does not necessarily have to be a musician to qualify as a member of the 27 Club. Rolling Stone included television actor Jonathan Brandis, who committed suicide in 2003, in a list of 27 Club members. Anton Yelchin, who had played in a punk rock band but was primarily known as a film actor, was also described as a member of the club upon his death in 2016. Likewise, Jean-Michel Basquiat has been included in 27 Club lists, despite the relative brevity of his music career and his prominence as a graffiti artist and painter.
You know the theory about Uzi?
What?
They're saying that once Uzi hits 27, he's gone, because the 27 Club is all like
Kurt Cobain,
all
Jim Morrison.
Yeah.
There's a few others, I forgot exactly. Jimi Hendrix, yeah, they died at the age 27. And that's why a lot of people, I don't know, is Post Malone 27?
Oh.
Is he older than 27?
I don't know.
Because I remember Post Malone has a lot of those people tatted on his hands.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you guys even know the deeper significance of the 27 Club? Because if not, let's dive in. If you're unfamiliar with the 27 Club, it's a group of musicians, artists, and other creatives that happens to all die at the age of 27. And it's all a coincidence. The real question is, why is it happening to these individuals at the age of 27? If you add the 2 digits of 27 together, 2 and 7, you're going to get a sum of 9. Numerologically, 9 represents the completion of cycles and endings, which typically ushers in some sort of change to prepare you for 1, which is new beginnings. On top of which, astrologically, the planet that correlates to number 9 is Mars. In the natal chart, we know that the area of the chart that correlates to death would be the 8th house. The traditional ruler of the 8th house is Mars. On top of which, for some of the members that are in the 27 Club, they were either at the very beginning or just about to start their Saturn return. Some things that just make you go, Let me know what you think. Stay tuned, like and follow for more.
The 27 Club is a group of famous musicians who have all died since the 1960s at the age of 27. It is indeed a strange coincidence that such influential figures in music as these all died at the age of 27. However, the 27 Club ain't got nothing on the 56 Club. Huh? It includes Eddie Rabbitt, Mimi Farina, Baby Tate, and Chris Ledoux. In fact, of all famous musicians who died between these years, the most died at 56, not 27. In fact, if you were a famous musician between those years, you were also more likely to die when you were 28, and almost as likely to die when you were 25. So why does the 27 Club get all the attention? Because it includes a group that was especially talented, successful, and innovative, and many had tragic deaths at arguably the peak of their creativity.
Yeah, you don't hear about the 56 Club too often, do you? I can't help but wonder, are resources and even talented people being given a ticket to the promised land? I'd like to hear what you guys think. Is it possible they could be hiding a whole continent?
Hey, we're camping in this beautiful state park in Texas, and it's been raining, and the water that's coming out of the sky is blue. And it's not this tarp, because it's happening on this tarp too. Look at that. This is crazy. Are they chemtrailing us in Texas?
So I live here in the Central Valley and it was raining a couple minutes ago. Can anyone explain the blue water?
Okay, there's my filtered fridge water. There's my tap water. There's the flavor. I'm not going to add a lot because I just want to see if it's going to affect the color. Okay. Oh yeah. And here is the filtered fridge water. All the color disappears. Now, if you remember my video from last February, I have called the city. They did come to my house. They gave me some BS, you know. The city actually laughed and thought it was funny. I have had our water tested by a lab. And I'm under the impression that there's bromine in our water, which is not supposed to be in tap water. Bromine is for hot tubs, swimming pools, and it's toxic. So, there it is. Don't drink your tap water, y'all.
Blue rain? Pretty sure that's not natural, but I'm sure mainstream science will have an explanation. How many chemicals are we being exposed to every day through contaminated water supplies, air, and even unhealthy food? It all kind of seems like an attack on the populace.
ما شاء الله والله يا ابو عبد الله كلش مختفي كلش مختفي شوفوا شلون ناظر لا اله الا الله
A hailstorm in Saudi Arabia. Now, I know there's a lot of geoengineering going on over in that part of the world. Even places like Dubai purposely make it rain every week with cloud seeding. Tampering with Mother Nature may have its consequences.
One last adjustment. We got it. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Oh my god.
Can you hear the sound of your own voice?
Yeah.
Oh baby. Oh my god, Sergeant, thank you so much. We're so excited. Thanksgiving's in 2 days and I can call you on your cell phone now, baby, and you can talk to my dad about his head.
Whoa, are you okay? Is that too loud?
No, not too loud. The voice that's annoying. You don't hear that? I have to hear this forever.
Don't be silly, baby.
Oh, there we go again, Doc. You know why this guy's smiling? Because he's probably deaf and he can't hear his wife's voice. Doc, please take it off. Help me, please.
Relax.
Help me.
This is a celebration. Trust me, from one married man to another, you'll get used to it.
I don't believe any word that came out of your mouth.
Bro was having none of it. He couldn't get that earpiece out fast enough. Perhaps they should create earplugs that filter the voices around you.
All right, a lot of confusion about this as well. Granite. This is the entire base of the building is made of granite. Sandstone. Sandstone is easier to carve. It's just as hard as granite, but you can carve into it a little bit easier. Like, do you guys see this block? This is a solid block of andesite. That's so many tons right there. That's so heavy and hard to carve. And that's the entire perimeter of this. Dude, it's like 1 million square feet. Look at this. The entire perimeter is andesite, incredibly hard to carve and heavy. And again, maybe this didn't sink in for some of you. This was a bigger chunk of sandstone that was carved down, right? They're not super gluing all those fins on there. That is a big old piece of sandstone that then gets carved down to be that type of column. Guys, do you see the scale that we're talking about here? It really doesn't do it justice unless you're here. Look how big this place is. Look at that. Come on now. Also, they got little pine cones up there, you know, the gland, all that cool stuff. Guys, just look at these steps, okay? Think of a granite countertop that's like less than 1 inch thick. And then look at these 6-inchers. Huge slabs just for the steps. Just for the steps. Come on now. Like, guys, look at this one step alone, okay? That's my hands. That's probably 5 inches thick. And it's one slab. And look how many there are. That's so excessive for a state legislative building. Come on now. Also, none of this is concrete. I just, like, for the people in the comments who are like, have you never heard of a poured form concrete? It's all sandstone, granite, and marble. So according to the book, like according to them, they said that they got the marble from France and Germany. Think about the logistics of that. That means that they shipped it from Germany to the water, got on a boat, went to America, went 2,000 miles on trains to be put here. Why? So you see this is the governor's mansion. See how it's like made out of bricks? That's the governor's mansion. Was the governor not worthy of the Capitol treatment? Okay, which one is it? Is it the public health building or the John L. O'Brien building? Make up your mind. I think they could probably carve public health building into this sandstone. Okay guys, even just like look at this. This is a solid piece of sandstone, but look, it's been carved. Okay, it's been perfectly carved. Why? Like just this one little like handrail, and there's another one over there. Doesn't it look like something's buried beneath? This is concrete, by the way, for all of you who are wondering. I'm a general contractor. I know what concrete is. Okay, you guys grasping what I'm saying? That's a car, right? Think of a 1911 car. And then, okay. Okay guys, here's the building they're working on right now, right next door. Look at that, same sandstone. See, that looks reasonable to me, those little sandstone slabs, right? They got this massive crane to help them out. And it's mostly glass with a little bit of sandstone. And then womp womp. And yeah, it goes way underground too. See guys, this is cement. I know it's cemented. See, it's got the little holes and there's all the pore marks. That's cement. Guys, look, this is a new thing they built. This is also andesite. Look how thin. Look how thin that is. This is andesite with diamond tip drills and diamond tip saws to make a little security box. And look, they can't even do a good job when it's this small, they break it. Hey, you guys see this building right next to the insurance building? They built this very recently. This was built in the last 2 years. They spent like $20 million or something crazy to make it. You guys see this? This isn't sandstone. This is a composite. It's a composite that they poured, filled, and then placed here with big old cranes. This makes sense. This is comprehensible to me. This is not. These are not the same. And there's a century separating them. See how hard they're trying to like match the majesty? They're doing their best, spared no expense. It's just, I don't know, something about it doesn't quite match up.
Now, I think there's an argument to be made here. Are we the inheritors of these old world buildings? Or was it truly our great-great-great-grandfathers that went to great expense to build opulent structures, completely overboard for legislative buildings? I'm torn on this subject as compared to the monolithic structures, which I absolutely feel are made with lost hidden technology and methods, when there's a complete lack of documentation, pictures, or even valid evidence that these buildings were put up in just a few years. I'll question the official story.
Did you hear about the 2 statues that were discovered last week in Antarctica? I mean, look at these guys. They are massive. Look how long that is. It's just humongous. They were discovered by 3 friend enthusiasts who are kayakers. They heard about how all the snow capsules are melting in Antarctica, and it opened up a new river, and they wanted to be the first to kayak down it. You can see how big that foot is next to their kayaks. And they said as they were going down the river, these 2 statues came into view, and they must have been covered for centuries under the snow. Luckily, one of them, Chris Smith, was a drone operator. He used to fly drones as a hobby in Afghanistan, so he whipped out his drone and got these close-ups to send to the scientific community. And scientists are saying, who built these? The ancient Romans, an ancient civilization? The crazy thing is when the friends got past the statue, they said what they saw, they're too terrified to speak of. They can't even get out of them. So Dr. Remy Demi went down there, and you won't believe what he's saying is behind these statues.
That guy's hilarious. He's so full of crap. Dr. Remy Dremy has returned. I think he uses that guy's name in most of his videos. It's an interesting way to make content. I think I'll stick to objective truth, though. It is good to have a laugh once in a while. Well, that's all I have for you guys. Thanks for coming by. See you next time.